All right, moms and dads, if you find yourself being burnt out despite trying every sleep hack, every meditation app, certain deep breathing, maybe you're trying to get your workout in every day and no amount of caffeine or B12 or supplements is giving you the energy you're looking for, this video is for you. As a parent myself, I know how easy it is to put your child first and to say, yeah, I just need to get through this day. I just need to get through this week. And pretty soon you suddenly look back and you realize that I haven't had energy for a long time, or I've started to put on a few extra pounds, or no matter how much I sleep, no matter how much time off I get, I can never really seem to recover. So, if that's what you find yourself going through, you might also feel like you've kind of exhausted your options. You've tried all these different energy hacks, or sleep hacks, or ways to try to get putting yourself first, but you're still worn down, depleted. And in this video, I'm going to go through a series of tips and strategies that are nice and easy to implement. We'll go over those here in a moment. Um, but before we do, I want you to acknowledge that if this is your struggle, you've probably talked to your doctor about it, and maybe they've done a blood test or a hormone panel, and they say, yeah, your thyroid's a little bit off, or man, your adrenals are just exhausted, they're burnt out. Or maybe try taking the sleep med. Maybe if melatonin wasn't working, you need this medication or this anti-anxiety med or depression med, and you feel like you're finding yourself just getting like further and further behind because you know those aren't helping you. You know they're not treating anything aside from the symptoms, but not actually getting your body on track. And one of the challenges with stress is it leads to things like inflammation, which can lead to weight gain, which can lead to joints and muscles not moving as freely or feeling as good as they once used to. It can lead to digestive troubles because when we're in stress mode, it pulls from our digestion. So maybe you find yourself constipated, bloated, maybe puffy eyes, or always like feeling uncomfortable after meals. That can be a sign of stress. The anxiety, nervousness, worries that never seem to fade away can be a sign. Maybe you feel like you're just kind of tired and run down and you don't have that zest for life, or like you enjoy watching your kids maybe play sports, but you're not quite as energized to actually be able to engage and do it with them like you wanted to in the past. So, amongst all those things, I can definitely understand. I can relate not only as a parent myself, but with all the families we see in our office and the busyness of modern day society, it adds up really fast. So, I want to go into a handful of things that can help get your body back on track. And what I want to do here is start with some simple movements because I know as a parent myself who likes to try to be active and try to stay in shape, it can be very easy to overdo it with movement. Just the other week, we were at my family's in Wisconsin for 4th of July and came back. And Monday morning, I got up at 4:30. I did my 5 o'clock workout. I'm like, all right, I'm sticking with it this week. Come Monday night, by the end of the day, because of the previous week and getting up early, I'm like, I'm going to bed early. I went to bed at 7:30 and stayed in bed till almost 7 the next morning to completely reset my system. And I said, all right, no more workout today, Tai. You, while exercise is good, it's too much for you right now. So one of the things we really like to focus on are movements that can calm your nervous system rather than depleting it. So things like walking in nature. There's a book called The Comfort Crisis that talks about the patterns in nature, whether it's the leaves on trees or the sounds of a stream or a river, the water moving, are incredibly calming and regulating for our nervous system. Doing things like gentle yoga, stretching, connecting to your breathing, rhythmic movements like swimming or dancing, and then strength training if you're going to do it. Just make sure you have enough recovery time. As an example, too, for myself the other week, instead of going to my workout and doing 3 sets of everything, I did 2 sets of everything. And based on the time I had and the amount of energy I had available. So giving yourself permission to be active, but not feel like you have to overdo it. Water and hydration is critical, and you've probably heard this before, but in this some examples here is if we're even mildly dehydrated, research shows that it starts to impair cognitive function energy. You might find yourself with more brain fog or losing focus, trying to remember what you were doing or where you need to be and not being able to do so. Water is critical for neurotransmitter production. Things like dopamine, serotonin are some of the feel-good chemicals. The neurotransmitters are what our nervous system uses to transmit messages to communicate. So when they're produced well, we're quicker, we're sharper, we're more alert. And one simple thing here is to aim for half your body weight in ounces every day. Especially summertime here in Minnesota, it's easy to maybe spend the day on the water on the lake and be sweating away, or maybe you start your day with some coffee and end your day with some wine, and those both dehydrate your system, and then in those cases you really want to focus on hydration. On the mental emotional side, this can be something that is, again, in our fast-paced world, easy to overextend yourself, especially when you have kids and they want to go to a camp or do an after-school activity, and they've got all these things they're doing, and then you still want to be with them as a parent. It's easy to now just feel like you never get any of your own time. In our house, we do some quiet time every day. On a day my son's home in the afternoon, we do 30 minutes of quiet time where he lies down in his room. We turn off the lights, we shut the shades, and it's a time where we take out the external stimulation. And it really allows our sensory system to rest, because if we're not actively bringing in input, whether it's our eyes, our ears, our movements, it allows our brain to really get some nice rest and recovery and charges our battery for the rest of the day. Doing things like prayer and meditation can help you contemplate on a bigger picture. Limiting news and social media, that is often something that's designed to get your attention, so it's very maybe fast paced. We know that news is designed to sensationalize and exaggerate and amplify, oftentimes, unfortunately, some of the bad things in the world, which creates more of a stress pattern. Especially in summertime, setting realistic expectations. I know, again, for myself, I give myself permission that I'm not working as hard. I'm not doing as much in the office. I'm not doing as much for my own maybe perfect morning routine or physical fitness, because I am taking some downtime. I'm spending more time with family and friends. And then really prioritizing. It's easy to, like, again, myself as a helper, it's easy for me to just say, yep, I'll help. And pretty soon I'm extended thin and don't have any time for myself. When we're supporting our nervous system, is, of course, with the neurological chiropractic that we do in our office, is one of the keys. So doing things like deep breathing helps activate what's called the vagus nerve, which is the major brake pedal when it comes to our nervous system. We've got the gas pedal, that is the stress mode, and the brake pedal that brings us down from stress. And that's where we sleep, where we digest our food, where we strengthen our immune system. And the key brake pedal to help us rest and recover is known as the vagus nerve. So, deep breathing, especially when you breathe out longer than you breathe in. There's a lot of breathing techniques out there, but one of the easiest is just to breathe out longer than you breathe in. It helps activate the brake pedal side of your nervous system. Doing cold exposure, whether it's a cold plunge or a cold shower, especially when you can get your neck wet with that cold water. It's recommended 3 to 5 minutes, but getting this area helps stimulate the vagus nerve, and so it feels stressful in the moment, but it actually helps regulate your nervous system afterward. Humming or singing stimulate the vagus nerve, and of course, regular sleep times give your body some consistent circadian rhythms. Another thing with circadian rhythms is I like to try to get some sunshine in my eyes right away in the morning. Being outside, take my glasses off, letting the rays of the sun hit my eyes actually sets your circadian rhythm up for the day. It helps your brain produce melatonin at nighttime. And then food is, of course, really important, not only for handling stress, but bolstering your nervous system. The nervous system cells and neurons in our brain are surrounded by fat, specifically omega-3s. So if you've heard of healthy fats, omega-3s are really important, especially like from fish oil. EPA and DHA are more easily used by your system than like flax or walnut are good, but the animal versions can be even more potent for your body. Proteins help the neurotransmitters that we talked about before. I have I think it's a amino acid kind of broken up protein that I'll take on days where maybe I'm eating a little lighter or fasting, but to still get good proteins for my cells for repair. Carbs, if they're whole carbs, like in the morning, a lot of times we'll make oatmeal, but it's a more dense carb. We'll add maybe some walnuts or chia seeds or hemp seeds. some sort of nuts and put a bunch of ghee on it, and so it adds some fat and protein, so it balances our blood sugar better. And then B vitamins, magnesium, and adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha would be an example that are things that also help your nervous system. And then the last thing here is, of course, what we do in our office is we help see where the nervous system has been disconnected. And we use our gentle adjusting to restore connection in the nervous system. And what we find is when someone is under chronic stress, it's easy for the nervous system to become disconnected in a sense, and it's not able to run the show the way it's supposed to. And when gas pedal mode gets stuck on, now the brain starts to worry less about connecting to things in the body like digestion, like restoring immune system, or repairing after a workout, because it's on gas pedal mode. It's worried about figuring out what's going on and trying to survive in the moment. So when we adjust, we're oftentimes activating the brake pedal, bring the nervous system into a calmer, balanced, more connected state, and now the body can get better sleep at night, can have more energy during the day, can repair and recover and clear out inflammation, and start to see those changes that you're looking for. So that's what we find is so critical, is if your nervous system's stuck in fight or flight, yes, hormones are going to be off, energy is going to be depleted, digestion, sleep, all these things start to get affected, and it might be easy to get caught up in trying to do a separate provider, separate medication, a separate thing for each one. And that alone is exhausting. So when we can get your nervous system into healing mode as a whole, now all those things start to come together better. So please reach out if you have any questions. I know it's a lot to be a parent, so we're here to support you and making sure your nervous system is supported in this incredible journey. Talk to you soon.